Welcome to Keep Traveling Your African Story, the only podcast that shares the real voices and journeys shaping African tourism. I'm your host, Rael Zieve, and through my inbound tour operation, Keep Traveling, I've had the privilege of connecting travelers from all around the world with the magic of Africa. This podcast is my way of opening that world up to you, a place to learn about the people, properties, and opportunities that make travel across this continent so very special. Today, I'm delighted to introduce Amos Wekesa, who is the CEO at the Great Lakes Connection in Uganda and Tanzania, who joins me to share his African story at Mwamba Lodge. Amos, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. Thank you for hosting me today.
It's a great pleasure to have you on board. Now, Amos, I spoke about Uganda and Tanzania, so obviously you have a collection of properties, but today we're going to focus on Mwamba Lodge. So tell us whereabouts Mwamba Lodge is situated geographically.
So Mwamba Lodge is on the boundary of the Tarangire National Park, which is majorly known for elephants, massive numbers of elephants, probably the biggest concentration of any park probably on the continent. But it is in a wild conservation area that is owned by the community, WMA, Wild Management Area, that hosts the big four plus the wild bear of this world. Lots of ostriches, lots of ticks and stuff like that within the national park itself. It's probably the most beautiful space of any lodge in Tarangire National Park. It's on the top of a hill, top of the rocks, and there are days from room 6, room 7, where you can see Mount Kilimanjaro and see at the same time Mount Meru. It's quite remote, and on many occasions you have elephants within the environment, which is staying, buffaloes, got lots of giraffes not far from your rooms. You have lots of zebras as well, which makes it very unique. But the lodge is guarded and protected in many ways by the Maasai community, because it is a land that we did lease from the Maasai community, who we gave a certain amount of money for ground rent in a year and give them per person per night fee, plus provide jobs for the Maasai people.
So you're on the border of Tarangire National Park. How are international visitors going to get to you? What's the international port that they're going to arrive at, and how are they going to transverse from there to Mwamba Lodge?
Of course, the best option is to arrive into Kilimanjaro Airport, which is about 1 hour away from Arusha. Arusha is pretty much the main center for tourism in the Northern Circuit. And when I talk about the Northern Circuit, you're talking about Serengetis of this world, you're talking about Ngorongoro, you're talking about Manyara, you're talking about Tarangire National Park, Arusha National Park, as of course Kilimanjaro itself that people enjoy climbing. When you arrive Arusha, after an hour of driving from Kilimanjaro Airport, you have about 2.5 hours before you arrive our property. You drive 1.5 hours or so to where you enter WMA, Wildlife Management Area, and you'll be driving through a wildlife management area, more like doing a game drive before you arrive at Mwamba Lodge. The Mwamba Lodge is so unique that if you booked one night, you'll be very disappointed. Many clients just hate it when they realize they only have one night because of the views. And the fantastic decor is out of this world.
We were going to get to the lodge, but you jumped the gun. So now that we've arrived at the lodge, okay, after our 2.5 hour drive, tell us about the lodge and the amenities at the lodge.
The lodge is in the rocks. That's what I would tell someone. In every row has got very special views. And probably most likely will not see any other room as well. We have some rooms that oversee the watering holes, and these watering holes are there because they attract wildlife. Water is pumped into those watering holes, especially during dry season, and therefore you'll be able to see elephants from the room, be able to see the impalas from your room, see the zebras from your room, see the giraffes from your room. That said, during the right time, a lot of the wildlife, especially the elephants, tend to want to be at a drier space, so they come on the hill where the lodge is to enjoy a much better environment. It being in swamps during the wet season. So there's a lot of wildlife in the area. It's very remote, beautiful views.
Tell me, how many actual rooms or bed nights do you have, and the amenities around each room and the lodge itself?
We have got about 9 rooms right now. We're building extra 4 rooms to make there 14 different rooms. 2 of those cottages are family cottages. So people that come, their children or friends, and take up a cottage, those are the ones that you'll be able to take over. When you enter your room has one of the most comfortable beds you've ever sleep in. Beautiful mosquito net setups. You've got coffee environment. You've got a mini fridge in the room. You've got the binoculars to see your wildlife. You've got bags for your swim suits and stuff like that. You oversee the national park as you shower from your room.
And then once guests arrive, I'm assuming that you have a great chef. tell us a little bit about the food and the drinks that are available at Mwamba Lodge.
Being remote, still we have 3 different types of chefs in the lodge right now. Senior chefs that have worked across board. So the quality of experience is up there. If you actually Google reviews of clients, every client gives us 5 out of 5 for the place.
So now that we've arrived, you told us a little bit about the lodge. We're not going to go hungry, I hope, and we're not going to go thirsty. We've come and we want to do some kind of game viewing. So tell us about the game opportunities that we can see while we're visiting Mwamba Lodge.
One of the things that we all must appreciate is that it is in the wildlife management area. Entries to the wildlife management area are definitely much lower than they are in the Tarangire National Park. The wildlife management area was created because of wanting to create a translocational route between Tarangire National Park and the Kilimanjaro National Park. Communities used to live there, but the communities decided to offer their land to have wildlife in the area. Of course, they benefit by the money they collect from the gate and at the same time from the different accommodations that are operating within the WM environment. That said, you have a chance to also do night game drive. That most time will give you a chance to see the nocturnals, which makes it extremely very unique. Animals like the cats are more active in the night. When we talk about the cats, we're talking about the leopard, the lion. But the lodge too also gives you a chance to do sundown. And sundown, and you have your dinner when the sun is going down, oversee Tarangire National Park. The other thing that we're also intending to start in the place is long distance walks, nature walks, but with rangers for your protection.
Yeah, listen, walking safaris, I think, is what you're talking about. And I think that's so much nicer than sitting on the back of a Land Rover going bump, bump. I know that you're a long distance runner, so perhaps you'll be sharing those walks with your guests sometime. So which animals exactly can visitors be pretty sure that they're going to see?
I think one of the things that we all must agree is that you're coming into a national park, but nothing is 100% guaranteed in a national park. However, you must be so unlucky not to see elephants. You must be so unlucky not to see leopards at times. You must be very unlucky not to see giraffes. There's lots of zebras in the national park, lots of impalas, birds as well, for those that love birds. You've got massive numbers of buffaloes.
You're proudly sitting there with the Ugandan flag, and I appreciate that. For our international listeners that are coming from all over the world, a lot of people still are unsure about the safety in Africa. So tell us about how safe it is to arrive in Uganda and be on safari there.
I think the world depends entirely on our perception, but I think Uganda is one of the most safest countries anybody will ever go. And it's a country where you can actually travel throughout the year because we have an average of 28 degrees. We see the sun almost every day of our lives.
Tell me, how is government helping tourism in Uganda?
It's been very difficult for us to convince the generation that is in leadership about the value of tourism. When they were young, it's when tourism was doing very well. Uganda was #1 tourism destination in East and Central Africa until 1971. Idi Amin became the president in 1971. We lost about 9 years. And then we later lost so many years because of its different civil wars. The country has been pacified for at least 25 or so years. And our biggest challenge in terms of tourism, we have not been able to actually showcase and market it to the rest of the world. Uganda is the same size as Britain, but it has 165 lakes, including a bigger portion of Lake Victoria, which is some of the most beautiful islands of the world. When you go to some of these islands, you won't believe, you think even the Caribbeans probably struggle to compete with them in terms of beauty, but people don't know that. Then, of course, you've got the source, the longest river in the world now, and probably the best rafting opportunities in the world in terms of 1 to 3 days, because most of the rivers around the world are full for 6 months and almost empty for the other 6 months. The difference between the highest and the lowest point of the water levels of the Nile only about 1.5 meters, and that means you can raft throughout the year. Then you go to Maasai National Park, where you see the whole of the Nile struggling to pass through 7 meters, going 43 meters deep, cascading in an area of about 20 meters long. Probably nowhere in the world, 13 different species of primates, 4 of which are nocturnal and 9 are diurnal. But the main activities there is the chimpanzee trekking. You can sit in one of your lodges during the day, and from your room, you can be able to see 7 different species of primates. This is unheard of. Then Uganda hosts about 54% of the population of the remaining mountain gorillas. So you've got 2 national parks in Uganda with mountain gorillas. So you've got the highest population in Uganda, second highest population in Congo, and smaller population in Rwanda. Quite a lot of opportunities in terms of culture as well. Uganda, we actually don't work. We just celebrate. So we like dancing. The people who dance like fun. Uganda is a place to be. Then we go to places like the mountains. The Rwenzoris, for example. I own a marathon called the Rwenzori Marathon that runs towards that mountain. Start from Queen Elizabeth National Park, run across the equator towards Africa's highest ranges of mountains. There are 16 mountains that form the Rwenzori Range. So Uganda is actually an extremely very unique country that has not been marketed so well.
Our hopes for the future are there, and we're bringing education at grassroots level. So we hope that the tourism is going to go from strength to strength in Uganda.
I think one of the key things that government has done is try to put emphasis on conservation, but at the same time, we have to put resources in about 22 Ugandan embassies that are marketing Uganda. So you've got quite a number of spread embassies around the country that are pushing very hard getting the country. For the first time, Uganda Tourism Board has a budget. Hopefully soon they'll start using towards pushing Ugandan agenda. And Ugandans, of course, from the general English-speaking community, there's no part of the country where you go that someone is not speaking English. English is a majorly official language. Then you've got Swahili as well. Many parts of the country, people speak Swahili. And then there are about 52 different tribes within the country. So it means you have about 52 other dialects or languages within the country that people speak.
That's fantastic to know. And I think English is the world language today. So it's a huge advantage to have that. We wish you all the best in the future. Let me finish off, Amos, by asking you, people have so many opportunities to do safaris today, coming from around the world. Why should they choose Mwamba Lodge?
I think, first of all, choosing Mwamba Lodge, you're actually choosing communities because their land is leased for Maasai communities. And when you arrive at Mwamba Lodge, the people you actually encounter at the start or the reception are actually Maasais will be dancing for you. That makes it extremely very unique. A percentage of the amount of money we get overnight from every client actually goes to the Maasai community. Every month we do accountability for that. We pay a ground rent to the Maasai community as well. Coming to this lodge, you're coming to remoteness. In fact, one of the reasons why we have coffee station and tea station in your rooms is because there are days when you wake up and there's too many elephants that you can't go out of your rooms. So it makes it extremely very difficult.
In closing, Amos, where can people find you online and follow the Mwamba story?
Great Lakes Collection has a website. We've got social media platforms. My name is Amos Wekesa. I also have lots of platforms that people follow, Twitter and Instagram and LinkedIn. We're quite out there. Great Lakes Collection is also a sister company to Great Lakes Safaris.
Amos Wekesa, thank you so much for coming on the show and sharing your story and your time and energy. I've really appreciated learning about Mwamba Lodge. Thank you very much for coming on the show.
Thank you so much for hosting me.
What an inspiring conversation. Thank you so much, Amos, for sharing your story and for everything you're doing to grow African tourism. Don't forget, every week we feature fantastic prize giveaways from some of Africa's most beautiful lodges, camps, and travel partners. You could win your own unforgettable getaway just by listening, subscribing, or visiting www.keeptraveling.africa/podcast. Or read more about today's guest by reading through the show notes of today's episode. Don't forget to follow Keep Traveling on social media for your latest episodes, stories, and travel inspiration. I'm Rael Zieve, and this has been Keep Traveling, your African story. Remember, a few years from now, you won't remember how much it cost you, but you'll always remember the memories you made. Keep traveling.